must be messing with the background.
Welcome to the weekly podcast that keeps it real about youth sports, social issues, and sports in general. The Final Word with your hosts, Joe, Dre, John, Chris, and Dave. And now, without further ado, presenting the Final Word.
Going on over there. All right, folks, we are live. This is our first time on YouTube. Well, not YouTube, but Instagram, actually. So experimenting with that. Uh, we're going to have Coach Joe Willis from Plant High School on today to holler us a bit about the showcase they had this past weekend. And we're going to look at some videos and talk about it and do what we normally do. All right, so Dave, how was your weekend? What'd you do?
Weekend was good. They was at the showcase on Saturday. Went to a couple XBL games, watched some of those teams that we talked about last week. I got to see Chamberlain play, East Bay play. And then I got up Sunday and drove over and got to see JoJo play a game and a half. So that was fun. Then Jax played some pickup basketball, and then we're back here. But it was I'll let Willis talk about the event, and it was fun to watch some of the teams that you hear about across the state be in one gym. There was a lot of good basketball during Scott's fall event. There was pretty high level games.
All right, what about you, John?
Yeah, same thing.
I said, what about you, John?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right. Yeah, same thing. Saturday went to the showcase, Hillsborough County. Got to see a lot of the boys play. And then on Saturday night was at XBL. I watched East Bay, Chamberlain, King. Um, so it was good. It was all basketball. Then same thing with Dave. Went to see JoJo play a little bit, and then went to watch Junior play some pickup basketball. Let me stop.
Well, y'all
Joe
see
gonna
my
call me
play pickup
petty.
basketball. What you mean?
We went to
Where did they play pickup?
so that's interesting. So let's just kick it off then, Joe. Last week I got a call saying that somebody said that I was talking about their camps because you had posted a video about money grabbers. Um, I don't think that, like you said, it's a business. All right. So I can never say something is a money grabber, but at the end of the day, it's a business. So you do it for money. Let's be real. I think every camp that I have seen, um, it helps, whether it helps mentally or whether it helps physically or talent wise. This weekend we went to an exposure camp, and to me, I think the biggest thing was these kids just go one on one or play you know for themselves because they want to get highlights. I was actually kind of upset with Junior because I'm like, yo, you got to go get the ball, whatever. This like pick up basketball. But then hindsight is like the question I would have for you guys: do college coaches or even the writers, do they really enjoy that type of basketball? Or is it more fulfilling to go to a camp where the coaches are saying, "Yo, this is not going to get it on the next level." I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know. This weekend it was more of a yo, whoever gets it, go down and score. That's the key. So some kids, we always talk about, are you what we call it, not camp kid, showcase showcase player. I do believe every camp helps. Um, I particularly like the camps that the coaches are telling, yo, that's a bad play, or yo, you need to see him open. Now I don't know though. I don't know what college coaches look for. I don't know what writers look for. I really don't know. So it's up in the air. My opinion, I think is better if you're telling them what they're doing wrong or right. Because you can be the best hooper at McFarland Park. That don't mean you can play college basketball. So,
Right.
I don't know.
I think the best bet for high schoolers is to go to the actual college camps that the colleges actually run. I think those are the best bet. I mean that's what I would do. That's why I would focus my energy and resources to doing that. Uh, at the high school age, or camps where there's like legitimate people that are putting the kids in position to be seen and evaluated. That's just my take. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like I said, I think all of them are good because all of them can bring something out.
They
Now, are
are.
you able to survive in every one of them? I think that is the best thing. If you can survive and be an impact in every different types of the camps.
I mean, it's always a learning lesson. I mean, after Jackson's first game, he wasn't really digging it, and I was like, here's the thing. I said we got up at early to drive over here. We watched JoJo's game. I said, do you want to go home now? I said, or do you want to try to play differently in your last game? I said they're not going to pass you the ball. I said one of the kids that went there, the dad said he's the only kid that got 3 assists in a game, and I said you're going to be miserable the rest of the way unless you play differently. So then he got the ball and he started shooting and going to the hoop and doing stuff. I said you got to make this 12-hour day at least be something out of it. So it was a learning lesson for him. Like he went and got rebounds because he knew no one was going to pass him the ball, and he shot and did stuff. But it was definitely an environment where an environment that probably wasn't built for him, but it was the learning lesson from the way home was like you had to find a way to go get the ball because they're not just going to pass it to you because you were open. So that was the benefit from it. But that was the takeaway from it. We're trying, I try to make everything be a lesson. But there was, I saw a post about a kid that was there, because he dunked like 10 times and he's super athletic. And so, I do think there are some people that benefit from it because, this kid that's over in Pinellas that was flying above the rim. I mean, he did some pretty acrobatic dunks. People posted about him, so it probably benefits him. So there's a learning lesson in everything you go to.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I guess it's work, and you got an opportunity to get up and down and get some
But
guys that you wouldn't play against.
there's some extremes, and there's some extremes, right? So you had this event, and then Kevin Driscoll's doing his event. Kevin Driscoll's doing his event this weekend. They're about as opposite in styles you're going to get in showcases. Because Kevin's going to have coaches. He'll have 3 coaches on the court. They'll call you out if you don't make it. So, I think for kids to be able to, learn the type of environment they're in and how the coach wants them to play, because anyone that's going to go to that is going to be the complete opposite of what you experience this weekend. If you don't play the right way, they'll call you out for it. So I think you can learn from that as well.
Okay, cool. Dre, what'd you do this weekend? Had a little luau?
Oh, am I on mute now? No, actually, well, of course, we had a frat meeting that morning, Saturday morning, and went to the showcase. And then after the showcase, we had the NAACP Freedom Fund dinner. So I had to, get nice and neat, step up in there. But outside of that, then Sunday, I felt like I was on a grill out there at that Bucks and Eagles game. But outside of that, it's a normal weekend.
Okay. Big Chris, you gotta turn the light on or something, man. We can't even see you.
Hey, is he on? Oh, he darkness.
All right, I'm gonna go to our first video. So I'm gonna play this video.
Trey, go mute when you're not talking.
Let's see. All right, so I'm just gonna play them in order. Oh no, not this one. we go say that one. Hold on. So do y'all see this ridiculousness? So this guy played 2 years in the G League. So now the NCAA has granted him 2 years eligibility to go to college. So he's going to Santa Clara. What is that?
That is wild.
How old is he?
I mean, he's probably like 21, 20 or something like that. But
I thought once you play pro, you can't go back.
well, with the NIL landscape, you know, it's so crazy now. It's different. Like you see a lot of the international guys that's played with their club team for years. Now they have eligibility to actually play college ball. I know Virginia Tech has 2 of them. Like a lot of schools, you'll start seeing that influx of international players that's going to start coming in now that in the past wouldn't be eligible to play because they played for their club team growing up. So I guess playing in the G League is kind of that same thing. So now that's just another blow to the high school kids, trying to get into college now, because now you got to, that's another mouth to feed for the NCAA that they're going to have to compete against.
Yeah, that's crazy. I definitely don't agree with that. That's wild.
I say those are the times that we live in now. It's not traditional anymore.
Right. Definitely not traditional. All right. So what does this video mean to y'all?
Three, hard punch. 2, 3. I need harder, Bubba.
Okay.
2, 3. Good job.
I did it.
Hey, come here, give Daddy a hug.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. You did good. I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you.
Such a good job.
Yeah.
Shit, I
So
like
what is
that.
it? What talk to me? What is it? What is it? Is it sentimental to you? Like what does it mean to you?
I think it's sentimental shit. It take me back uh shit 13, 12, 13 years. But not only that, I guess he's training to be a boxer, but training, showing him discipline, but also he gave him some love and he told him he did a good job. So I don't think it was overkill or nothing. I think that was cool.
Yeah.
Hey, I ain't even gonna beat Ryan the bush. He teaching him to whoop somebody's
No, I think it like to me, all of us have coached our kids and we've come up and we've seen a lot of dads coach their kids and how they respond to them. And like, at the end of the day, our kids want to please us. They want us to be proud of them. And, I mean, hell, I'm damn near 50 and I still want my dad to be proud of me. You know what I'm saying? So, all that yelling and berating your kid and all that stuff like that. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's just like kind of crazy to me. I think it's counterproductive. You can have what I call like supportive accountability, where like he had supportive accountability with his kid. Like he was like, "Come on, Papa, I need you to hit it hard." You know what I mean? But it wasn't just yelling at him and screaming like we've seen so many dads at kids at a very young age do. And we always used to say it like, man, when that kid grow up, he's gonna hate basketball or whatever the case may be. The thing that I didn't want, and as coaching my kid, I felt like it was starting to put a strain on our relationship a bit because I would hold him to a certain standard, and I was tough on all the kids, but naturally we're tougher on our own kid, because we know what they're capable of and what we work on with them. And I thought it got to a point where it was starting to put a little strain on our relationship. So I felt like it was time for me to step back, but it was just very hard to find the right guy to come in there and take over and do it the right way. You know what I mean? So, but that was hard. But just seeing that video and just seeing that supportive accountability with that kid, I mean, I think that's the way to go, man.
No, I agree, and I definitely agree with the strain of a relationship. I think you, as a father coach, you definitely want what's best for them, and you do hold them accountable, but you hold them to a higher standard. Not only because they're your child and you want them to be successful, but because all eyes are on them. Um, so it's a fine line that you come to when you're coaching your child. Um, it's hard to be their cheerleader in front of people. But you can't forget to make sure that you appreciate their hard work and let them know how good they are doing. Sometimes I forget that. I mean, there's been times, seasons where I don't say how good Junior does because of everybody around, which is a downfall on that. But then when you have conversations, like real conversations, and then they open up to you, that's when you know, like, all right, the stuff is working. So it's definitely tough. And the only reason why I stayed coach, I wasn't his coach at first. You know what I'm saying? I had a coach who was definitely very hard on him to the point where people used to look at me and was like, yo, you're not gonna say nothing. He just grabbed him by the jersey. He just picked him up, whatever, whatever. But I was like, no, I'll make him tougher. When I wanted to get somebody else, you're right. You got to get the right person to not only teach your kid, develop your kid, but hold them accountable. I could never find that. So that's the only reason why. But it's definitely hard. Would love to put Junior on these conversations and have him be as honest as possible of being a player that his dad coaches, because I'm pretty sure he has some things to say.
I just text Jackson. I said, "When was the hardest time you had me coaching you, and when was the easiest?" He wrote back in caps, "Hardest middle school," because he just sat and didn't play.
Yeah. So I think JoJo thought I was picking on him. At some point, because at the end of the day, I'm his dad, and he felt like I was picking on him. And even when I ref, I get a ref's hell, but I'm a terrible ref too. And so I miss calls or whatever the case may be, but I just felt like he got to a point where I had to step back and let somebody else do it. But one of the things that John said that stuck out to me was, you don't write about Junior and stuff like that. I mean, I let other people do it. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not gonna go walk up to no writer at these camps and showcases like I see other parents do and try to get them to write about my kid. If they're gonna write about him, I want him to earn it, and I want it to be organic. So so I feel you on that, but also too, we do have to let our kids know that, we're proud of them as well. But, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest that just entered the chat. Coach Joe Willis, Plant High School. How you doing there, Coach?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on.
Hey, thanks for being here.
Yes, sir, Coach.
I mean, it's been, 2 days since I saw y'all, so I figured I'd hop on and see you.
You can't see Chris, though. He's incognito mode.
Darkness.
Well, he didn't come to the showcase, so it's okay.
Yeah, you gotta put Chris to work next year, man.
You guys still can't see me?
Darkness, we can't see you.
Open your eyes and smile.
Hey, check this out. Dre. Hey, Dre. I got my setup over here.
So Coach Willis, speaking of the camp, tell us about it. How did it go?
I thought it went pretty good. The showcase, it's an awesome opportunity that the Tampa Bay Sports Commission and the Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners give us, to myself and David Zimroth, to bring in as many of the best players in the county as we can that are available at that time. And we had 84 boys. We had 12th graders, 11th graders. We bring in some of the 10th graders to give them a taste of what the event is like, and hopefully they'll keep coming back. And 64 girls. And so it's pretty exciting. And colleges have been fantastic coming to the event. We had St. Leo, Tampa, Eckerd all in attendance, a couple NAIs with Florida College, New College, and then some junior college at Hillsborough and St. Pete. So we feel very fortunate that we're allowed to do it, and that the kids come out and compete on a day that they have a bunch of different opportunities with fall leagues and stuff, and coaches send their kids and the kids attend. So we're pretty lucky with that, but it was really good.
I know.
I was real fast. Go ahead.
John. You got it.
Yeah, real fast. I know sometimes, and you might have been going with this too, Joe. There's some kids sometimes don't go because they have a game or they go somewhere else. Was it a lot of them this year, or was it better this year?
No, I mean, there was not a lot. I mean, we knew from the very beginning, because we were going up against that really good event that's been going on for many years, the Hoop Exchange that Scott Golden does an amazing job with. And we were trying to do it because the academic component that goes with, I think most of our players are going to need the test scores of the SAT and the ACT. And so our normal date was an SAT or an ACT day. And then the next weekend was an ACT, SAT day. So we wanted to stay away from that. So we went up against them. So we were missing some kids from that. And then there were a couple, one, I don't know exactly why he missed, and the other one just didn't come. So it's nothing different than limited attrition, but I tell you, it's crazy. They say they're coming, they come, and there's a lot of them.
Yeah,
I mean, you were there.
Yeah, no, it was good. I like that.
But I think a lot of them, I don't think people understand that when it comes down to the level of basketball, that they're being told they're better than they are. And unfortunately, if they do miss for that reason, it's not going to hurt their recruitment, in my opinion, that those coaches will go and find them, hopefully. But if they're not doing that for who knows, because they think they're better than they are, that's not a great reason to not show up.
Right. Let me ask you this. I don't know if this was my first time attending. Was this the first time you allowed teams to stay together?
Yeah, I wanted to give the kids a comfort level. I think a lot of the showcases I go to, it's if you got it, you better shoot it. And it actually was that way in the girls. So I think with some of our kids, and maybe it was a detriment, who knows, but there were teams that only had 2 players from the same team. But I think it gives kids a comfort level that they know, hey, I'm going to pass it to my teammate. I'm not just going to look them off and jack up a bad shot. So I was hoping it would clean up the games. I don't. You can do it any way you want, and maybe it made it harder on guys to show out to be amazing. I don't think anybody walked away saying, "Wow, that kid is the best player in the county" or anything like that. I just felt everybody played really hard, and it was really difficult to figure that part out.
That's good.
I heard
What
Plant
was your guys' thoughts from your attending? I always value your opinion on the event.
For me, I thought when you first did it, I'm like, oh man, that's gonna be different. But then you're right. It is a comfort level. You can play your game instead of trying to be somebody you're not because other people don't know you, or somebody get a rebound and take off and not look up. So I think you're right. I think it does clean up the game. I really do. Playing with somebody that knows you, um, it'll clean up the game and show, in my opinion, your real game. Because a lot of people go to showcases that they don't know people and they want to be the man, so they do stuff that is out of their ordinary game, which could help them. But most of the time, in my opinion, it hurts them because you wouldn't dribble the ball through three people. You wouldn't not give up the ball when somebody's in front of you. So I agree. I don't know what Dave thought or Dre thought, but I agree. I think it did clean up the game.
Yeah, I think it cleaned it up pretty well. But it's a double-edged sword. So y'all talking about the showcase earlier that y'all went to, that where people don't pass the ball or what have you. But if you got a group of kids and a bunch of kids that's playing the game the right way and understand the game, you know, that wouldn't happen. But the setup that we had this past weekend, it was different, but it was a good understanding of why it happened. It looked like it was more organized basketball. Everybody playing together. So I liked that format.
The one thing I will say with it, and I got to go back to the drawing board with it, and I'm always taking people's thoughts on it, is there were some guys that we consider probably some of the better players in the county. And when they ended up having to play with maybe people they didn't know, they didn't look, they were out of sorts. I don't know if it was their role had changed, but some of them, you know that they're really good players, but they didn't really show it, whether they were deferring to the group that had more teammates on the game, on the court, or whatever it is. I think so. That's trying to find that fine line of those kids that can really showcase their skills, but they didn't do it because they were not with comfortable players, or I don't know why they wouldn't do it.
Do
So
you think?
with the
Go ahead,
coaches,
Joe.
like yeah, so with the coaches, how does that factor in? Because that should be something that the coach might be in. Like if I'm coaching and I know that kid is a top guy and he's playing with some unfamiliar guys, I would kind of instruct them on what to do, like to stop deferring and assert himself into what's going on.
I think it depends on the coach and the group they're playing with, right? Mm-hmm. So you can ask Dre. His kid got to play with the Plant Panthers, and and it's not that team. The Plant team, the group of kids from Plant, are not that much different from Jason's travel team. There's actually one of the players on his travel team, but I did see some other kids that struggled, and I don't know if the coach wanted to grab them or the coach wasn't there. The coach was there, but he was on another court. He was actually working the event from the one in my mind, and I don't know if he grabbed him or if he got the play on his court. I think he did a couple of times, so I don't know what communication there was with that.
Gotcha.
Do you think the time could be extended, or are you good with the short games?
Well, I guess the timing of the event matters, right? Like I think in that window's good because these kids are actually going and playing in their fall leagues. The different leagues did a decent job of not scheduling those teams. And when we did it earlier, when we would do it, say September 6th or the weekend after Labor Day, a lot of these players were not in shape. And I think the later we get close to the season, they are getting in shape. So maybe that looked a little differently. But I remember when it goes early September, they all look gassed after playing an 8-minute game.
Gotcha.
But and again, we know the conditioning is getting better with all these guys. They're playing a whole bunch, and but I would like to extend it. It's just when we have to do the girls as well, it makes for a difficult balance. And but yeah, I mean, and we have talked about, all right, do we lessen the number of kids? Do we do 2 games to try to limit the sitting and playing more, or different things like that? So we're in discussion with that, and I've talked to the sports commission to say what is the mission of the event in their opinion, and we'll continue to try to adjust it that way. But when we try to give kids opportunities, and we take a bunch of kids from every school gets to send at least 2, then we're going to be getting a lot of kids at some point.
Just to piggyback off of you, I kind of like the 8 minute because you don't have time to warm up. That means you got 8 minutes and you can go hard for 8 minutes. You can't go hard for 8 minutes in front of college coaches. You don't need to be out there. So it kind of keeps the play where it don't deteriorate. Because the longer you play, like you said, some of those kids might not be in shape. Their play start to deteriorate. But that 8 minutes, that's 1 minute quarter. And you don't have any subs. So you just keep going, and you got to play hard the whole entire time. So like I said, if those kids can't play hard for those 8 minutes, they don't need to be on the court.
And if we limited the number of kids, then they're not waiting as long as they do. And that's kind of my thing. I don't like them waiting, but unfortunately with 80 something, they're going to have to wait.
But that was the best thing that you guys could have did. I mean, it flowed good. It wasn't a lot of crazy waiting. Um, so it was a good flow to it. And to be honest with you, no matter who you play with, the game was competitive. So I agree with what Dre is saying. I mean, I would want the games longer, but I do agree with what Dre is saying because you got 8 minutes to get it. So I think that brings out some intensity and some competitiveness. So I agree with that.
I also got to say the reason it ran so smoothly is the people that help me out. Dave helps me and a bunch of different people. And we just got a nice little flow going where he gets people in the on deck circle, as I call it, or sitting on the bench waiting for the next game. And it's just, let's go. So it was, he was very, very helpful with that. And then the girls, there's some ones, it's crazy. You would have no idea who any of these girls are, but when you finally get them out there, because their coaches finally send them to the event, it's impressive. There was a girl at Blake that was phenomenal. There was a girl at Chamberlain. Chamberlain's never sent a girl to the event. There were 2 of them there. One was really good. And so their event had some people that stuck out as well. So that was pretty neat to see.
Oh, that's good.
Well, guys, again, if you have anything you want to add to it, I'm always taking notes. I got we started a note that we'll just continue to add stuff because I usually forget after a year, and then we end up falling back on some old habits. But good luck to y'all in
I was gonna go last just because we talked.
Oh, okay.
One question I got: how often do coaches? A parent asked me this, and I didn't know that. How often do coaches reach out to you after the event about kids, or do they not reach out to you? But I had a parent, they're like, hey, will they reach out to Coach Z and Coach Willis directly? Or like do let's exclude Eckerd because of the relationship there. Like, does New College of Florida, HCC, St. Leo, like, will they reach out to you and say, hey, Coach, we were there. There were 80 kids there. Are there some kids we think we should put our eyes on, or do they not really? A parent asked me that actually yesterday.
Quite a few of the Division IIIs that I have connections with through their just recruiting and whatnot do reach out and ask for the information. And here's what I'm going to do this year. It's something new. We videoed it, and I'm trying to get all of it put together. Any college coach that I can find information on that I have, I'm sending them the book. I'm sending them the video and just saying, here's everything. and then they can do what they want with it, and they can roll. And I'm going to send all the video to the kids so they can make edits if the video is good enough. And so hopefully, hopefully that information gets out there, and it no matter, even, and guys that were injured will be on in the program or the book, because they shouldn't be punished because they had an injury. So they're going to be in there. If you missed it, you will not be in there, but that's just choices we make. So hopefully that helps, where people are like, oh, wow. Yeah. And a lot of them reach out and say, sorry, I couldn't make it, but we're just going to give them all the information to hopefully reach our goal of helping the kids get recruited.
So when you say reach, that's your goal. So that's a good thing. Do the coaches collectively, do y'all get together afterwards and be like, hey, who did you like? Who can we push? If somebody calls you, are you gonna just talk about your kid, or whoever you saw on the courts? Are you gonna put a pub out there for them? Is that something you guys do?
Yeah, I mean, I asked those guys to give me a list of players that they thought played best, because if you recall at the event, I'm not standing watching it as much as I'd like. So they get to see a lot of the players. So I talk to them, and then that way I have an idea. If people say who played well in the showcase, I can take their word for it and say, this guy played really, really well. He's somebody to look at. We had somebody reach out today saying, can we get the information? Anyone that a high GPA, which will that's all in there, and send it their way. So yeah, we try to. Personally, I will help any kid out there. Now I'll have it like when we compete. I won't help you. I'll try to make you look bad. But if any kid that I can help, and I don't want to. I think I mentioned this last year, but like what's Nate's last name at Jesuit? That was a Jesuit. Boachi. He was dying to get in the FACA All-Star game. I'm the FACA rep. We had already submitted our names for that. He said, Coach, I really want to play. I said, okay, well, here's the guy's number. I'll tell him you're calling. He called the FACA, gets into the All-Star game somehow, and then plays well, and he's doing really well in college. And he still texts me and says, hey, man, thanks, Coach. You really took care of me. And that was a kid that, Jesuit plants a big-time rivalry, and it gets very, very heated, and there's no love lost. But, if I can help any one of the kids that come across there and I think are good enough for these coaches to take them, we're gonna do it, because otherwise we're that's a whole other conversation y'all can have at another time. But the selfishness and the ultra competitiveness is just sometimes a little too much, and it's not okay. But that's a whole other non-showcase discussion.
Absolutely.
But
so, Coach, go ahead.
No, you're good.
You gonna stay and hang with us for a while?
I actually have to put kids to bed. So I know. Y'all look at everyone in here has high school age kids. So you remember those days, I hope. So y'all can.
I still got
your kids don't talk to you anymore. So mine need me for whatever reason. So, but I would love to. But let's set it up another time, and I'll stay on, and you can really get the opinionated Coach Willis out.
All right, I would have got you in a little trouble tonight, because I'm gonna talk a little crazy a little bit.
Okay, well, I'll listen in the morning after when I get a chance, and call you and be like, "Ooh, who was that at?" Or I know who you shot that one at. So
nah, it ain't like that. Not tonight.
I know. Well, the guys on the other side of the screen might say some things. So
I doubt it. Not tonight. Right. It's gonna be. I'm gonna have a little fun tonight. All right, Coach. Well, appreciate you as always.
Right. Thanks.
Appreciate it, Coach. Yeah.
All right, fellas. On to the next vid.
The play. The voice acts as a guide.
Technique up. Change play ball.
Come on, Adrian. Stay focused.
Make a play, Pete.
Go back there and get it. Be great. Every play, one play at a time. Play bad. Whatever happens, happens.
So I play that. Do you guys think that positive self-talk is effective? Did y'all ever do that as players?
Absolutely. I do that as a human being. Yeah, I do that before I coach. I do that before I have to speak in front of a whole bunch of people.
I don't know that positive self-talk, but you can be like, man, what the F are you doing?
To yourself?
Yes. What am I thinking about?
Oh yeah, I feel you. So I do it. I've done it. I've done it as a player. It backfired on me once, man. And actually, when I saw that, I thought about it. I had story time with Joe Filer. I should have a little video for that. But a quick story. I had applied for this incentive manager position, and because I used to always come up with these incentives in the position open, and people's like, you should apply for the incentive manager position, but that position wasn't just doing incentives or whatever. So I had a virtual interview, and this is before WebEx, right? So this is when we had a landline desk phone, and it was like a conference call just on the phone. And so typically when you come on the phone, if you're the first one on the call, there's like music playing, right? So I came on and there was no music playing. So I was like, hello? And so nobody said anything. So now I'm about to give myself this pep talk. So I'm like, all right, Joe, you got this shit, man. You the man, boy. Can't nobody mess with you. I'm saying all kind of crazy stuff, right? And it's silent. So then when the lady comes on, the hiring manager comes on, boop, boop, she comes on. She's like, hey, Kate, who do I have on the line? And I was like, yeah, Joe here. And it was like 3 other people was like, I'm here. They all heard my whole damn pep talk. So I'm in the room by myself, and I just put my hands on my face like this. I was just like, I went work for damn in that interview. I'm sure they had a good old time with me. So that pep talk backfired on me that day. And I was talking crazy.
I know back in the day if somebody did that, we would think they were crazy.
Yeah, they definitely thought I was crazy. I'm sure they did. Definitely. But I mean, if they played sports though, I'm pretty sure they probably understood because I was just like I was hyping myself up, and I'm pretty sure they was laughing and instant messaging each other while I was doing that.
As long as you weren't hitting yourself,
I
getting
probably
yourself
did.
hyped, smacking
I
yourself.
probably slapped my face a couple of times or something like that. But
Hey, I got it. You got another video coming because I got a topic real fast.
They
go ahead. Let's hear it.
Real quick. I played tennis, so it was an individual sport, and my mom would be like, I would talk to myself after like every point. I'd hit the racket like on my feet. My mom would be like, "You're crazy." She was like, "You might need to go see somebody," because she said you'd have like full length conversation with everybody. So I definitely did in tennis. I didn't do it in basketball and soccer. But Chris, I'm sure you talk to yourself.
Yeah.
Chris Dave, you was like that Major League movie. F you, Joe Boo. I do it myself.
That big old boy had drunk Jabu liquor.
And old Bobby Boucher.
All right, so what topic you got?
So I'm gonna bring up the point guard topic. 2 things. Who was was it Calipari that said the point guard or the old school version of point guard doesn't exist anymore, something like that? Y'all heard that?
Yep, I
All
have
right.
that video.
Yeah, so hey, I think that's some bullshit. Second, me and Dre were at the camp, the showcase this weekend, and there was a guard that I was like, man, that kid tough, man. That kid can go. Like I seen him play when he was younger, um, actually last year, and he got so much better in 1 year. And I was like, man, he athletic, fast, um, defend, go at the rack, shoot it. And Dre, what'd you say, Dre?
I said, shoot, he was about 6'3", 6'4", he'd be great.
You see what I'm saying? So this my thing. Coaches, people would rather take a big dude that ain't got no heart, no athletic ability, over a kid that knows the game, high IQ, and is a better overall player. Is that right? So I'm talking to everybody here who's over 6'3", pretty much. So is that right? Because I've seen some college players, some 6'6", 6'7", 6'9", 7 foot, don't ever get off the bench. Ever. So you're wasting a scholarship over somebody. And I've been to these practices. So it's like you're wasting a scholarship, in my opinion, when you can get somebody who's a harder worker and a better player. So why do we continue to use that logic? You know, why does that logic still exist? And it's getting worse.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's always been hard for the small guard because I think it's just more or less because there's just so many of them. Uh, that's what I think. That the guard that Mount Verde has, he played for UPlay on the EYBL circuit. He's from Canada, and I
Light skinned
forget.
boy?
Brown skin.
Yeah.
I forget his name, but he's very good, and he's probably about 5'5", 5'6". But he can go because when they were playing Columbus, they started out slow, and he got in and he got the offense moving. And I was telling I was telling somebody that was over there with me. I was like, man, actually, my high school point guard, he came to watch JoJo play, and I was like, man, if I'm on this team and that kid got the ball, I'm running full speed down the floor every time, fast as I can, because
Right.
he's gonna find you. Like, you know what I mean? So, but he's a he's a small guard, but he's strong. He gets in there, he rebounds, he mixes it up. He pressures the ball full court. He put really good pressure on the ball. I'm impressed with him, man. Somebody went to one of the Mount Verde practices, and I think he had JoJo was saying he just had a bad day that day because they didn't think he was very good. But man, that kid can play, bro,
Yeah.
and he's getting some looks, and he's going to get some looks there if he plays how he played this weekend, man. He's gonna be fine, but he's an outlier, man. It's very hard, man. I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard for the bigger guys. I mean, I see a lot of the political stuff. Even with JoJo, because he's on the slimmer side. His body isn't mature as others, even though he might play stronger than others. But just from an eye test standpoint, sometimes they might take like 'cause he played on the Under Armour circuit against a high profile guy he has a mature body, and you were there, John, and you watched it.
Yeah.
I think JoJo like held him to like 8 and he had like 26 and they won and beat the UAA team, and then you see the next day the other kid gets all of the offers. It just like
Right.
it doesn't make sense to me, but it's just it's the body type, and that's a part of it. So I mean, even a guy like JoJo gets it, you know what I mean? So it's that's just the way it is, man.
Yeah. It's just kind of for the smaller guards, it's kind of not hurtful, but it's like, damn, what else can I do type of situation. Because I know some smaller guards that do a lot of things right. But the
Mhm.
minute you see a 6'7" dude, like, oh, he good, like, no disrespect. There's a 7 footer in Florida. Man, I wouldn't offer him a bag of chips. And everybody is talking about, yo, this kid, yeah, he's 7 foot, but I hate to use the bad words, but he's not ready. But it's about the potential. This is what I'm always hearing. Oh man, the potential that he had. But if he doesn't reach the potential, you don't waste it all this talk when you know it hurts the kids who really work hard and put in the work. I'm not saying the big guys don't, but I still think that there's a spot for those real point guards that get, like you saying, you get the ball, you take off running, you finna eat. Like, there's something to say about that. Um, so I'm here to fight for the little people, Dre. That's all I'm saying.
But
Yeah, I
but
mean,
but it's just about styles, man. So I I I like little guards, but it just depends on what you like. I was a big guard, 6'5", 6'6", and when I ran up against Earl Barkins, who was
That's what
5'5", he gave me hell. You
So
know
I
what I'm
was just
saying?
about to ask you, what guard gave you the most problems and how big he was? I'm glad you said that. Okay.
The Earl Barkins gave me until I figured it out. I passed the ball ahead and I took his little butt down there on that block. and,
Yeah, yeah, I feel you.
and went to work on him. But
Hey,
it
but
just
Earl
depends on
Boykins
the
was
style.
strong from what I heard.
And boy, he was strong as an ox.
Yeah, 5'5". Yeah,
Yep, about 5'5".
yep,
yeah,
yep.
yeah.
No, I mean it's definitely, but everybody's path is different. Like you look at George Kimball. As good as he was, and he ain't no small guard either. I mean, Kimball's like 6'3", ain't
Not about 6'1", 6'2".
he? He's okay.
Strong as hell.
Yeah, he looks bigger, plays bigger, but I mean, look at the path he had to take. He went to Akron, he went to what was it, Eastern Kentucky, and then now he's at Vanderbilt. You know what I mean? So he's leveled up, and he's doing very well. But everybody's path is different, and it seems like every year, something different is thrown at the high school boys, in which they're gonna be overlooked even more, because I was talking to somebody about Rollins for JT and all of that, and one of the previous coaches that I know that was there for years, he took 4 transfers the whole time he was there for 16 years or whatever it was, and they took 6 this year alone from the portal. You know what I mean? So that's just the landscape of it. So it just makes it that much harder. Not only the small guard, but for everybody. You know what I mean? So it just maximizes everything. So you got to try to take what you can, and if that's your dream to play ball, D3, NAIA, Division two, JUCO, regardless of what it is, and level up. Keep working. Don't give up on your dream, because college basketball at all levels is you still gonna be fun. Even the conditions we had in JUCO and the way we had to fight our way out, I mean, it still was a very fun time. You know what I mean? Like, the stuff we went through. And I'm going to start telling some of those stories on these little short videos I'm going to do. I got a little idea. But, some of those videos, man, it's going to be like, you ain't going to believe it. Like, it's crazy. Some of the stuff some of the stuff we went through. But it's still a good time, though, So I know some people might see a D3 or NAIA and kind of turn their nose up at it. I mean, you might have to take out a student loan or whatever, but at the end of the day, you betting on yourself. And, you go in there, you keep working and you level up. Don't give up on your dream. Keep fighting.
Agree. Today, at the gym, Caleb Williams was there, Jacob Douglas was there, and
Nice.
Jay London.
Nice.
So they was in there working out, and it was funny. Somebody asked me, said, "Man, what they doing?" I like, "Oh, they had a prep school," and I said, "It's crazy. You got." So they said, "So they didn't get nothing," and I was like, "So this is the crazy part. Jacob Douglas has always been one of my favorite point guards, and
Mm-hmm.
then you look, and he's at what 5'5", and then you look at Caleb Williams 6'4", like, but they like Caleb Williams is one of the most gifted players we've ever seen, in my opinion, around here. But then
Mm-hmm.
Jacob, all heart, defense, like true point guard type of situation.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping they both get the opportunity. That Caleb's gonna get opportunity, but I'm hoping Jacob get the opportunity as well because he does play the game the right way.
Yeah.
Um, so it was just interesting. You saw both of them in the day, and I'm like, damn, they both play similar positions. They're just two different styles in a sense.
Right. All 3 of them would get something if they want it. Because, there's so many schools out there. Now, it might not be what they want. Like, Caleb's probably going to get what he wants, but Jacob and Jay London, it might not be what they want, but if they want to play college ball and not, like let's say like London, for example, if he wants to go to FAMU and do this and that and the other, well, FAMU gonna be there. You can go to grad school at FAMU. You can go pursue your basketball dream, go 4 years wherever you want to go, and try to pursue that. If nothing pans out, then you go to grad school, go to FAM and do it like that. Because that'll still be there if that's your dream. You see what I'm saying? But everybody's path is just different, So
Or you can bet on yourself and go walk on.
yeah, 100%. 100%. Go try to walk on. Go battle for it. Go fight for it. I saw the kid from Newsom this weekend. He's a student assistant at I forget what they call it. I don't think it's a grad assistant, but he's at Florida doing that, and shit, he can play college ball, But that's what he chose to do, and he's gonna be an asset. And he could also keep working and try to walk on himself. You in there with them guys, shoot, I'd be trying to mix it up.
That's what the kid from Jesuit did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he had a good career at Jesuit.
Yeah, and then he went over there and got to play in the championship game or something. No, not championship game. He played in one of the games, I think.
Yeah. He went. I think he played in the Elite Eight game or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a national champion, man. Just like JC from Tampa Prep years ago.
Yep.
All right.
And John, you mentioned and small guards too, like Isaiah Finch. I mean, he's listed 6 feet. I'd bet a sandwich he's probably 5'10", 5'11", but that he's one of my favorite kids to watch. He's one of my favorite kids to watch in the county, and I know he's doing good there. I thought that the other thing is people, they're always try to compare to the Sunshine State Conference, like, oh man, why isn't St. Leo, Eckerd, or UT looking at me? The guards in the Sunshine State Conference are better than guards in some of these other D1 conferences, like up in the Northeast. Like if you were to go to the Northeast Conference, these other ones, like the guards down here are better than them. So like you got to take the opportunity you have, and then if you want to bet on yourself and then go somewhere else, do that, or go find a place you're comfortable with that. We got kids that are getting offers from schools and they're not taking them, and then 3 months later they don't have anything on the table. So it's and Joe's video on the opening thing's pretty interesting. Like if the NCAA if they're gonna allow like pro guys to come back in the G League, I mean, now it makes it even harder. And if people are gonna try to go make it in the G League, see if they can get something. They don't get something, then they'll go back to college and make a ton of, and then make their NIL money and then go back to the league. I mean, it's like a vicious circle. So you got to go where you're wanted, and then try to improve it from there. I was talking to Jeremy Schiller from IMG, and he was like, we tell our kids, not on their top teams, like, go where you're wanted. If you're good enough, then you'll have the opportunity to move. And he's like, 5 years ago, that wasn't the case. But, if you're at a D3 school and you're getting a double-double, you're going to have schools come and beg for you. Like it just happens. And if you're at a D2 school and you're doing really well, you're going to get 6 figures and you're going to go play at, Kansas State or Vanderbilt or Eastern Kentucky. So I think they got to get into an environment and succeed instead of maybe waiting for something that's better, because then they'll never have a chance to prove it. That's my 2 cents on it. So I wish a couple of these kids last year took what they had and went and proved to these coaches like how good they were versus trying to sit out, because I think it will hold them back.
So at the camp this weekend, I rubbed a little elbows with a few of the coaches. Just because they're not reaching out don't mean they're not looking at you. Just because they're not saying anything to the coaches don't mean that they're not looking at you. They probably have an eye on you, but they're looking at your growth. Have you gotten better? Have you added anything to your game from when I saw you last year? So a couple coaches, have eyes on kids here in Hillsborough County, and with me over there talking to them, those are some of the things that we were discussing. You know, you know, and watching the kids, and a few, they say they basically done came back with the same game the last time I saw 'em. I haven't saw any improvement. Um, Either this kid was told that that he needed to get stronger. He didn't work on his body. He still looks the same. He can play, but is levels to it. So those late bloomers, um, they're looking, but like I tell my guys, you can't come back with the same game. You have to improve your game. You have to and look apart, body wise. But they are looking. So and most of the schools around here probably don't wait till like like a senior season with guys that they done had eyes on since they were sophomores and juniors. So they're still looking.
Dre, as a coach for Hillsborough County, that's why I was asking Willis. Would you know, or do they talk to you guys about, yo, these are the guys that look good? And then, like if a coach came up to you and they say, hey, which guys look good, you can talk about your players. But if they weren't on the radar for all the coaches who were watching, would you know who they were or who did well? You know what I'm saying? Is that something that could help out our kids? Because I think the showcase was good, I think, but if we're pushing kids, you guys have to know who we're pushing or who you guys are pushing. So I would love to know if there was a grade or if there was, you know, how they were talking about it, things like that. That's what I'm looking at.
So, and I'm just gonna use me for an example. There's a lot of kids in there, but the ones that I knew, I kind of drop a nugget. Okay, this kid is at so school. He does this, he does this well. He done improved. Worked on his jump shot. You know, just the kids that you kind of know of. You drop them little nuggets on. And like I said, I try to help everybody. We're basically for Hillsborough County, so whatever you're looking for, I can pretty much, okay, go to Armwood, look at this kid if that's what you're looking for, or go to Newsom if you're looking for this type of kid. So if a coach called me, I'll be like, hey, go check this kid out at this school.
We could. Again, there was a short game, so we talked about it. Dre said some of the advantages. We can use. Let's use Jason for an example. Like Jason Jason being put on the team with the four plant kids. Jason looked really good in that environment. So if you were a coach there that runs a system, you're like, oh wow, like Jason Lewis would be a good fit. He's a 6'3", he's a guard, and he can play too. Like I thought Jason looked really good on. I thought Jason looked like really good on Saturday, and playing with four guys that are, play a system and they don't really try to get out of that way. Like if I was a coach, you'd be like, all right, like if we're running a bunch of sets, Jason can come in and plug and play and would fit really well. So they, I think they do look at that aspect of it. I saw Cedric Powell's comment. That's pretty interesting about most coaches are not sure what they're actually looking at. Johnny Broom, that's interesting because I know there was coaches around here that, didn't even waste their time, offering him because they knew he was, D1, but then other people will say, why didn't UT offer JoJo? Why didn't UT offer, Josh? Because JoJo and Josh aren't going to go to UT. So I'm not sure if they miss as much as we think they do. Johnny ended up going, from where he started to where he ended. I'm not sure if that's a miss or if he just got better. I mean, I guess, some people could say it's a miss. Some people say he improved himself. So it's an interesting comment, but by Cedric, because I think Johnny just got himself better. I don't know if he was ready for Auburn when he graduated high school, but he sure as heck was 3 years later. He's a beast and is going to be a beast. I don't know what you guys think. Do you guys
He
think
put
they
up some
missed
good
him?
numbers at Moorhead his freshman year.
He did.
All right. All right. So, is this discrimination? Let me know what y'all think. So the NBA bans jersey swaps with Grady Dick. So Grady Dick plays for the Toronto Raptors. So that's him and Jalen Suggs doing a jersey swap. And you got it blocked out with Adam Silver, but it says Suggs Dick are the two names next to each other. So they've banned him from doing jersey swaps. Is that discrimination or not?
No, I don't think so, man.
What you mean?
I just think he got an effed up name, dog. Like I'm saying, but first of all, why is he jersey swapping? He ain't done nothing in the NBA.
That's
Stop swapping your jersey, Bo.
that's his boy. He made it to the league.
That's
Hey,
fine. Call me later and
I'm
I'll
just
meet you
gonna
at the
say it
house.
like this right here. Y'all see where it say Suggs dick, where it say Durant dick, Curry dick,
Well,
James dick.
let's talk about that, Dre.
Harry,
So
Harry.
let's say if he did a jersey swap with James Harden.
Harden dick.
How about Kevin Love?
They loved it.
What about Anthony Black?
So, 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 so that's what they're trying to prevent.
What,
The
what about Derek
Social
White?
social media social media has messed up my man. Now he can never swap swap jerseys. Dog.
What about Nazir Little? What is it, Dre? Keep it going.
Listen to
hey,
me.
hey, hey, we got
What about
children
Jr. What
watching us.
about Jr. Ryder if he was still in the league? Jalen Brown,
Come on, man.
Trey
It's not
Young,
this. He just
Grant Long, Wendell Moore. This is discrimination. That man should be able to give us this good comedy. He
no.
should be able to jersey swap, man. This is some bull. This is some
Hey,
bull,
Tim
man.
Duncan.
Oh my God. No, man. He just got a messed up name, bro. No.
He can sue, man. I think he can get a Lance Reigns. I think you need to take that case, buddy.
Oh my God.
All right, what's the final word, man?
Isn't there a guy named last name Moore?
Yeah, that's what I said. Wendell Moore.
Come on, man. No. Can't do. There, they gotta stop taking the pictures, man. Stop taking the pictures, bro. Just swap your jersey and keep it moving.
Oh
They
man.
want to take pictures and shit. Oh man, that's crazy, yo. Man. What
And
else?
Hey,
I
the
was
final word is, hey, don't be a.
Oh man.
All right,
No.
man. I was supposed to go to the grocery store and grab Jersey some lunch for tomorrow. Probably close in 30 minutes, man. I got a few minutes. Let me shoot up there. All right, bro.
All
I'm gonna holler
right,
at you.
y'all.
All right, that was a
Yeah.
good segment.
Later.
Welcome to the weekly podcast that keeps it real about youth sport, social issues, and sports in general. The Final Word with your hosts, Joe, Dre, John, Chris, and Dave. And now, without further ado, presenting the Final Word.